Welcome to the Healthy module. This module also has no textbook references. In case you're wondering how we came up with these areas, it is all related to the CDA, the National Child Development Associate Credential. We learned in the last module that at least one person for every 20 children in a child care facility must hold such a credential. The areas we address in this class correlate with the standards set forth in that credential. As you can imagine, there are many components of healthy. Settings that promote good health include materials, equipment, and of course our environments that are kept clean and do everything to promote good health in children. All of the areas are checked first thing in the morning and continually throughout the day for different kinds of hazards. Broken toys, on outlet covers that have been taken off and not put back in. Usually you will find covered plastic lined containers to be used to dispose of anything used in a classroom. Disinfecting and sanitizing solution are present and used appropriately. The use of chemical air fresheners, some classrooms can get stinky, but any of these scented products are not allowed. We predominantly only use bleach and water solutions to disinfect. We provide relevant health information. And the information that we get from families have to be maintained oftentimes in locked file cabinets. Usually we post any food allergies on refrigerators or the food cupboard, so we are continually made aware of those children that do have allergies. Many of you that are in child care are very aware that they're very prevalent in children today. Any emergency telephone numbers with the child's primary contact and medical provider must be kept easily accessible. Usually there are 2 or 3 copies of this information located throughout the center. In case we have to evacuate, in case it's needed in an emergency, it can be accessed very quickly. There are specific health records, medication forms, and first aid administration procedures that also need to be easily available. Of course, we want to follow appropriate hygienic procedures. There are lots of people in a small area in child care facilities, so we do have to clean and sanitize continually. We are continually wiping down all surfaces used by children, especially this time of year when many of our children do have runny noses and coughs. We continually sweep and mop our floors. This is a procedure, though, that children really love to be involved in. You will often find, particularly if you have a small mop and a small broom and dustpan in the dramatic play area, that when you're sweeping and mopping, the children go and get those so they can help you. The good thing about small children is they love to be like us adults, so they will do anything and everything that we are doing. So I'm all in favor of using them as helpful helpers when we are cleaning. There are specific procedures for cleaning, sanitizing, and disinfecting toys and materials. Usually a center has a written policy. Every facility that I have ever worked in or directed, we have had a Friday, quote, disinfectant day, where all of the toys, anything that was cleanable, was cleaned and disinfected. Many times we used our water tables and just used a light bleach water solution, and the children helped put the toys in and wash them, and then they were left on big towels over the weekend to air dry. And children began to learn about keeping things clean and why we did that, and were vested because they began to help us. That does vary philosophically from center to center. I'm just relaying to you how I feel about having children be helpful in this process. Of course, we're always going to use correct hand washing procedures. I've given you the link again. We talked about it in our last module. And on the next slide, I have written the procedure out so that you can have it handy. As stated previously, if you're in child care, you're going to have pruned fingers. Big part of our job is to encourage children to practice healthy habits, and of course the main component of that is ensuring that children wash their hands properly. And these are simple rules that we can even use with children, that you wet your hands, you add the soap, wash for 20 seconds. Many times that helps children learn to count to 20. And then you turn the water off using the paper towel. If you've turned the faucet on with a dirty hand and you turn it off with a clean hand, you've now picked back up that bacteria. So turning it off using the paper towel is very important. We are going to continually model, communicate, and provide activities that teach the good health to children, and many times we do model that for our parents as well. In this cold weather, we do have to oftentimes talk about appropriate clothing. Some children don't own a heavy coat, so we do talk about what to wear. This is oftentimes when we begin to include weather talk in our circle time. We talk about sick children because this is also a time of year when many of our children become sick with flu bugs or colds. In some states, measles, infectious kinds of diseases. So sick children are always separated. There has to be, by state mandate, a place in the center where a child can be separated from the other children if they do show symptoms of being sick. It's probably important that you learn about vaccines, why some parents choose not to have their children vaccinated, what center policies are in that regard. If you've been reading the news at all, it is certainly an issue that it's the forefront now of conversations because of the measles outbreak in California. It goes without saying that children do not share personal items, toothbrushes and brushes and all of those kinds of things. If you've never dealt with head lice, you will. I will say no more on that regard. If you're a first-year teacher, you probably will get every disease that is going around the center, so your health is very important as well. So we take care of ourselves and our children and our parents. You're going to plan health and nutrition activities for your children and families. And a part of this class, you will create nutritional activities. In case you didn't know it, childhood obesity is an epidemic, so we need to educate our children and, more importantly, their parents. A very easy way to do that is to facilitate appropriate mealtime experiences. We serve nutritious meals and snacks in our centers. There are some centers that their philosophy statement states clearly that there will be no salty or sugar or processed foods allowed in their centers. So these are not centers that have birthday cakes and cupcakes and sugary cookies for snacks. Sometimes it's important to go to those extremes, and there again, it's very dependent upon the center that you're involved with. As a part of your assignment for this module, you will get information that you then can share with families. Our families are busy and they are stressed, so they want easy. And it's important for us to realize that and help them with that role. We always provide a relaxed mealtime. in our centers. We do respect children's food choices. We do allow them to say, I don't want any, particularly if we're serving family style. We encourage for children to try things, and oftentimes our modeling, our trying it, our eating it is what wins a child over to try that food that they don't think they like. We never ever use meals and snacks as rewards or punishment. Eating should always be a pleasant experience. Just remember, children never ever starve. So if they decide they're not going to eat their lunch, that can be a choice. We usually still require the children to sit with us at the meal table. They cannot play. There's not a good choice. If they don't want to eat what's in front of them, that is fine, but they will sit with us and converse with us while we are having our meals. They should never be forced to eat. They should never be forced to finish a meal. I'm sure many of you could provide some childhood stories that deal with needing to finish. If we make food fun, children are going to eat it. Ants on a log. Most children don't want to eat raisins and celery, but if you put the raisins with cream cheese on a piece of celery, then they're going to eat it quickly. And of course, always remember when we are meal times, it is a perfect opportunity to concentrate on appropriate manners. All right, so as a part of this module, you will be doing a nutrition project using the USDA Food Pyramid or MyPlate. And I didn't make a note to myself. It is in your textbook. I'm going to say page 42. That's right off the top of my head. And any nutritional guidelines to research the nutrition that is used in our pre-K schools or any child care facility you might know of. You're going to construct an ideal plan with sample menus as part of this project. You're going to, in the first paragraph, introductory paragraph, address the question, why is nutrition important? Why do we make it part of our curriculum in early childhood? You are then going to decide to spend a month on nutrition in your classroom. So then you're going to list the kinds of materials that you would need if you're going to concentrate on nutrition for that month in your classroom. And remember, you want to include parents in this endeavor as well. So it would include some parent activities as well. Next, you're going to construct an ideal nutrition plan for one day, meaning breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They should include meals that parents can try at home. So this is an ideal opportunity to try to find easy for parents. And then lastly, you're going to plan a cooking experience that you would use in the classroom. This is your opportunity to submit a lesson plan, and I've included a couple templates in the module. But you will fill it out in such a way that I could follow it if I were a sub in your classroom for the day that you were planning the cooking experience. Don't forget to include a recipe. That project should keep you busy for quite a while. As usual, any questions, concerns, compliments, or complaints, get in touch with me. Thank you.